hope you're all enjoying the Sensational by Summer Challenge. This is week 3 and I'm going to talk to you about the lean lifts and the corset contractions that we teach in our assessments, which help to strengthen your deepest core muscle called your transverse abdominis, your pelvic floor, and also by doing these exercises, if you do have muscle separation, it'll help to bring that separation back together. So the first exercise is called a lean lift, otherwise known as a Kegel, and I think most of you have probably been demonstrated those by a physician before after you've had a baby, or if you haven't had a baby, they are still great to do to make sure that you have a strong pelvic floor. Basically, we need to think about the pelvic floor as a sling, and it's attached to our pubic bone, our tailbone, and our 2 hip bones. So we just got a sling. And to connect your pelvic floor, we just want to grab the middle of the sling and just gently pull it up. Not really strongly, just a little lift. So imagine you've got 10 levels in an elevator and you're just pulling it up to level 3 and holding it there for a minute and then just releasing it. So a lean lift, we lift and lower. We lift and we lower. We lift, this is all done internally, yes? On the 10th rep, you want to lift it up and you want to hold it there for 10 seconds. Now you can do this exercise seated, so you want to make sure that your pelvis is in neutral, okay, and you're not slouched like this. So up, so that the hip bones are in line with the pubic bone, and you're just lifting up away from the chair and then lowering, lift and lower. If you do have a weak pelvic floor and this is very challenging for you because you are working against gravity, you can come down to the floor. Lay on your back with your knees bent. Again, having your pelvis in neutral, making sure you're not pressing the middle of your back into the floor or arching your back. So just nice neutral pelvis where the hip bones are level with the pubic bone. And we just basically pull up from there and release. So we're not working against gravity here, so it's a little bit easier. And on the 10th one, you want to lift and hold for 10 seconds. When you do this exercise, try and avoid gripping your butt, tipping your pelvis back, gripping through your thighs. Just really gentle, really subtle lift through the pelvic floor and then release. Once you learn how to connect your pelvic floor, you can start to work on connecting your transverse abdominis, which is the deepest layer of your abdominal muscle. So it wraps all the way around your spine, all the way up. It's known as a postural muscle. So it is connected to your pelvic floor, which is why we like to teach the pelvic floor connection exercise first. We call this next exercise a corset contraction, because if you do it properly by connecting your pelvic floor and then your lower tummy, everything follows suit like a corset up your spine. When we think about wanting to connect our transverse abdominis, the movement comes from the pelvic floor and then the lower tummy, okay? So what I like to do in this one, so now you have a TheraBand in your little goodie bag, you can place the TheraBand around the middle of your waist. And I like to do it not super firm, but firm enough so that if you were to take a big deep breath into your belly and inflate it like a big balloon, that the TheraBand will become tight, okay? So tie it around your waist. And if you don't have very strong pelvic floor muscles, then I would get you to do this on the ground, or if you're starting at the beginning and you've never done this before. And lay down in the same position as I just showed you for the pelvic floor. So pelvis in neutral, TheraBand's feeling a little bit firm. Now I like to give 2 sort of visuals for this exercise. What I want you to do is connect the pelvic floor. So lift up the pelvic floor and then find your hip bones and go about an inch in from the hip bones. And then from there, I want you to feel like you're pulling your 2 hip bones towards each other by scooping the middle of your tummy in between your hip bones towards your spine. So basically just relax, take a breath in, lift up the pelvic floor, and then feel like the middle of your tummy between your 2 hip bones is gravitating back towards the spine. Underneath your fingers, you will feel your muscle tighten, but you don't want to feel it pushing out into your fingers. So it's more about a lift and a pull in towards the spine. We're not pushing down, we're not bearing down, we're not pushing out the belly. It's just a tiny lift through the pelvic floor and then a real scoop through the lower tummy. Okay, so if we take a big deep breath in, we'll feel the belly expand. Okay, so we're going to feel the belly expand and the TheraBand become tight. All right. As we exhale, we're going to lift up the pelvic floor, draw the belly in, and you'll feel the TheraBand go slightly loose. That means that the transverse abdominis has pulled in like a corset, okay? Then we breathe in, it expands into the TheraBand, and as we exhale, we draw the pelvic floor up and the lower tummy in. So if we were to place our hands on our belly, we'll feel the belly rise, and then we'll feel the belly retract as we pull up through the pelvic floor and draw the belly in. If that visual is not working for you, another good one is to imagine you've got a hole in your belly in the middle of your two hip bones, and quicksand is pouring from the hip bones over the top and into the hole. So as you exhale, you feel the two hip bones pull in towards each other. The quicksand rolls into the hole. And as you breathe in, your belly expands. As you exhale, you draw up your pelvic floor and pull the hip bones together. Yeah. These two exercises will not only strengthen your pelvic floor and your deep core muscles, but it will actually pull the waistline in. So if you do have any muscle separation or any sort of bulging abdominal look in your tummy, it will actually start to narrow your waistline, okay, by actually contracting this muscle. I would suggest to do 10 reps of the corset contraction, where you just inhale, exhale, pull it in, inhale, expand, exhale, pull it in, all the way up to 10. Doesn't have to be done fast or vigorous, just nice and controlled. And then on the 10th rep, you're going to pull it in nice and tight, and you're going to hold it in for 10 seconds, really focusing on this lower part of the tummy, okay? It is really important to know how to connect your deep core muscles, because in everything that we do in training, we want to make sure that we're supporting our lower back, okay? So by connecting your transverse abdominis and your pelvic floor, you're getting good support in that lower back for things like bent over rows, flies, deadlifts, and also any of your high intensity movements like burpees, sprints, frogs, anything where we're working at a really fast speed. If you have any questions, please be sure to comment below, because you're probably not the only one thinking of it. Jess and I are more than happy to answer any questions that you have. If you need to do a little bit of a recap on the exercises throughout the 6 weeks, again, please ask Jess or myself to show you again. But these are really great exercises to do at home, when you get time. 3 sets of 10 of each exercise, lean, lift, corset, done.